Now, you mentioned the biker gangs. This just broke this week. So, for anyone who's not familiar with this, sorry about that. We have a little video. An Islamophobic American biker gang is now responsible for the safeguarding of Palestinians in Gaza. So, let's take a quick look at that.
The situation in Gaza couldn't get any more disturbing than it is. Check this out. A report recently revealed that a group of American security guards operating out of Gaza are actually part of an Islamophobic biker gang named Infidels Motorcycle Club. They're responsible for guarding the GHF aid sites, the very same ones where over 1,400 Palestinian civilians have been slaughtered at. Members of this gang liken themselves to modern crusaders, glorifying themselves as fighters of Islam. Their Facebook page is full of anti-Islamic propaganda, including an invite to a pig roast in defiance of the Islamic month of Ramadan. An American rights group has labelled their presence in Gaza as the equivalent of putting KKK members in charge of delivering aid in Sudan. The gang's leader, Johnny Mulford, is one of the main security operators in charge of the team in Gaza, the very same one that continues to fail to protect innocent Palestinians seeking aid. Men such as these have Crusader cross tattoos of the year 1095, directly celebrating the erasure of Muslims from the holy city of Jerusalem. If it's these individuals that are in charge of safeguarding Palestinians, it's no surprise that the GHF keeps on causing civilian casualties.
Did you experience that when you were there? Did you meet any members of this gang, or did you hear that kind of rhetoric, that kind of crusader rhetoric, fight for Western civilization? Did you experience people serving there who had that point of view about their mission?
Every day. I knew Johnny Mulford personally, worked with him directly, one-on-one every day.
Oh,
All
wow.
of the site leaders that were there, the distribution site leaders, the people that you saw in that video of the people that were identified are all leaders. All of them, they brought their infidel motorcycle club leather jackets so they could do an infidel motorcycle club photo in Gaza, branded with tattoos that are Crusaders and infidel and 1095, and this idea that being there on this mission, being there on this contract is a crusade, is a pilgrimage back to the Holy Land to take part in their part to win back the Holy Land. The Infidels Motorcycle Club, I did not know who they were until I got there on this contract, and I noticed that so many of them had the same tattoos. So it kind of stood out to me as like, that's odd. Did I miss the tattoo station during in processing? Because I didn't get one. Why does everybody have this tattoo? So I just started to look into it, and it was mind-boggling to me that an organization that on their own social media, their whole purpose of existing is to fight jihad and the elimination of all Muslims from the earth. And I was like, do you realize who the majority of the population within Gaza, who the Palestinians are? Like it was like watching a Quentin Tarantino movie where pieces start coming together for you and throughout the movie, where a scene from before comes together and links to a scene from before to see what you're seeing. And pretty soon the whole picture is painted that, yeah, this is from the ground up. This was built to be a targeted dehumanization, displacement operation, starvation, and a genocide against the people of Palestine. GHF hired the perfect people to do that on their behalf.
Surprised you didn't see Quentin Tarantino himself.
Yeah.
But
well, so I don't want to put words in your mouth. Just 1 second, kid. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but would you, is it fair to characterize the GHF operation as being overrun by white nationalist jihadists?
It's definitely, overrun. Controlled by. Overrun would mean that they didn't intend for that, and these guys came in and took over. It was designed that way. So designed, being executed as designed. It is built. It is operating the way it was built, but not just from the top down. Johnny Moore, the director of the GHF, is a self-proclaimed evangelical Christian Zionist. Mike Huckabee, who's supporting GHF from the United States, is a Christian Zionist. You have people that are within. So the entire contract agency. The thing about Mr. Johnny Moore, again, or excuse me, not Johnny Moore in this case. Johnny Moore, head of GHF, different Johnny. Johnny Mulford, head of UG Solutions contracting country, or was, you know, you have this character arc, if you will, of white nationalists, extremist views against Muslims, this vision of a Christian Zion worldview, all together in this organization, and we ask ourselves, it's a mystery why hundreds and thousands of Palestinians are dying of starvation and dying at or near these sites. It's not a mystery. It's right in front of us. They gave us the script.
Wow.
So yeah, I was just going to ask as a final question. So, you know, and you partially answered it there, but you know, given this, I mean, you talk about a Quentin Tarantino movie, it's almost like a Mad Max movie. I mean, it really is just it's beyond parody that they would have a group like this administering aid in Gaza. So what if you had to say what is the primary objective of the GHF? Does it serve to deter people from seeking aid, since it's so dangerous for these Palestinians to seek aid, since the people who are giving them that aid are obviously so hostile to them? Is it meant as a deterrent? Is it meant as a trap to lure the population south so that they can wall them in an even more densely populated concentration camp than was Gaza itself, more or less? What do you think the primary objective of this GHF mission is? And it could be more than one thing. I'm just because that is just, I'm sorry to go on, but that is just mind blowing to see.
It comes down to displace, decimate, destroy. That is what they're doing. Step one, Gaza Humanitarian Foundation's presence in Gaza is the tool of the displacement. The mass internal displacement, forced internal displacement that is happening at scale in Gaza is the tool of that. The agent of that mission is the GHF. They have recently built, with the additional funds that were received, a 2.7 kilometer square area concentration camp in the south, the far south. Every site GHF ran was in the far south, except the one in central Gaza near Netzarim corridor, which is now closed. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is the agent, the tool in the forced displacement. Displace. Once they have them displaced and they're bringing them down to these sites, there's no food distribution. Distribution of food, distribution of humanitarian aid means that you actually distribute it. Putting it in a pile and saying, come and get it, for them to rush in there and fight over food, of which there is far, far, far not enough. And then the inadequate amount of food and no water, that's not a mistake in planning. That was by design. The number of meals, the number of boxes, the number of trucks, the number of rotations, the number of sites delivered every day, how it's delivered, the time it's delivered, when it's delivered, who delivers it, where it goes. Designed. This is a designed catastrophe. This is a designed genocide. And then finally, right now, as we speak, as we sit here tonight talking in Gaza, Israel, with the United States as its complicit and willing partner through the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, is in the stages of the final solution. They have already cleared all of the south. Every square inch of Rafah is gone. North of the Marag corridor in the central portion of Gaza, Operation Gideon's Chariots that commenced in May and has been going through since about 2 weeks ago when they stopped and halted to go into the north. The entire purpose of that operation was to clear central Gaza. That happened. Mawasi, Khan Yunis, Berish, gone, leveled. No human beings can live. There's nowhere left to go. Phase 3, Operation Gideon's Chariots 2, in concert or in coordination with the expansion of the sites and the forced displacement and continued displacement of Palestinians to the south. This is a plan. That plan is going to spectacular success, exactly as the Israelis and the United States through GHF planned it. Hand in hand, partners in crime, complicit in every way. As we speak, and Gaza City and Jabalia is being leveled to the ground. Ray Charles can see what's going on. The northern Gaza is being leveled to the ground. Every day we watch it. And the people that are surviving, they have nowhere to go. They have to go south. They are forced to the south. reporters are reporting that are still alive, that are reporting from in Gaza, are showing the coastal corridor that is so overrun with hundreds of thousands of Palestinians that it's unmanageable, and they are all moving south. And who's going to be there to receive them? Who is going there to be receiving this forced displaced population that's starving and on the edge of a total catastrophic famine? Who's going to be there? Americans, United States citizens, with guarding the gates of the concentration camp. And when these displaced individuals, when these Palestinians who lost their home and their families and they're starving, and the only thing they have to look forward to is more starvation, and hopefully they don't die of disease, of dysentery and polio and other things that are already setting in scale. What do they get greeted with? Biometric scanning. They show up to the site, and if they want allowed exit or access to the site, they have to be biometrically enrolled. Fingerprint, iris scanned, photo, put into a database by an American, not an Israeli, not a foreign contractor, an American. And what happens to that data? It gets handed over to the IDF. And what's happened to that data? They create persons of interests, databases from it, of which they use for targeting. The United States isn't a bystander. The United States is not a judge or a referee. We are in the arena, and we are complicit in the crimes against humanity and the genocide that's happening against the people of Palestine. We are on the verge of days, not weeks and months, days from the world witnessing a point where there is no return, a point of no return, and tomorrow is too late. And we have sat by and we have watched it, and the United States is complicit, hand in hand, have no doubt.
What one last question. Have you gotten a lot of pressure to stop speaking about this?
I've gotten a lot of pressure to stop speaking about this from the GHF and from Fox News, which would be like during World War II, you know, Germany asking, you know, the Germans asking the Poles, the Polish and the Jews not to talk about the genocide. It's clown show. It's amateur hour. Pressure from anyone else? No. I think that I've taken 2 trips, if you will, 2 door-to-door tours, if you will, pre-planned, pre-coordinated, called their offices, showed up using proper protocol to the offices of our lawmakers twice, early July. And I saw Senator Van Hollen and Senator Sanders and Senator Welch and even Senator Langford and Senator Tillis. It was bipartisan. And I went back just last week with Doctors Against Genocide and I talked to them. And I made it very clear to them. I brought this up to your attention in July. And I made it very clear to you exactly what is happening. Exactly what is happening. To the T, I told you that by this date, this operation would be in place. By this date, this operation would be in place. By this date, this is what we would be doing. And that is exactly what's happening. I have seen the plans. I was part of the planning. I know what the plan is. So I know what they're doing. It's not a secret. It's not a surprise. I know exactly what the next step is in this from a strategic perspective. And I went to the Hill this time and I told them all, I am taking names. I am taking names, stand to be accounted. And I will tell the world who stood on what side or the other. This is not a matter of politics. This is not a matter of religion or which side of the aisle you're on or where your AIPAC money coming from. This is a matter of humanity. Stand and be accounted. And I am taking names. And when we get to the point where there's a point of no return, and the only House resolution that our elected leaders are looking to pass is where we're going to build the monument to the people of Palestine that once existed that no longer do. The names will be known of the people that did nothing, that stood by and said, there's nothing we can do about it, or that stood by and said, it's complicated, or that stood by and allowed this to happen. And one day, when this is in the history books and we're all looking at this and we all collectively as a world say that it was wrong and never again. Well, the people that stood on the wrong side of history are going to be known. You cannot hide, and I will not let you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you for what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yes. So tomorrow, for those who are watching the clip version of this, that'll be today. But while we're live here tomorrow, what is it, noon at Dag Hammarskjöld Plaza tomorrow? Is that the time? Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So 12 p.m., Dag Hammarskjöld Plaza in New York City. That's 47th Street and 2nd Avenue overlooking the United Nations. You can find Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Aguilar there, and I'm sure you will see him around. Thank you so much for speaking up, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate your voice and your platform, and for continuing with the message. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
Please clap.